Hi, everyone, and welcome back to In the Vet's Office. I am your host, Dr. Josie, and today we are not only in the vet's office, we are in the tack room. We have, quite literally, we have taken the podcast on the road. This is the first episode I have ever recorded outside of Nashville, and we are in Wellington, Florida. For those of you who do not know, it's just outside of Palm Beach, and it is the mecca for all things horses, really from the months of December to May, I would say. And we are here today because I am interviewing my friend Pam Flanagan. Hi,
Devaleix.
Devaleix.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
It's an adjustment for all of us, myself included. I get it.
You got married, what, a year and a half ago now?
No, almost 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years in June.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. The beautiful wedding. So for those of you who do not know Pam, Pam is an attorney. She's a new mom. She is an amazing polo player. She has played in the Women's U.S. Open Championship how many times?
I've put a team in 7 times, but I've played 6 times.
And how many times have you won?
4.
Okay. Yeah, you're a badass. And most recently, she starred on the Netflix series. I guess I would call it a docuseries, maybe?
Docuseries, yeah.
Yeah, a docuseries.
I think that's what it was. Like the technical title was docuseries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Called Polo.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched that, you absolutely should, because I obviously am a little biased, but I loved it. It was amazing.
You may not recognize me. I was very pregnant. Very, very pregnant.
You were how many months pregnant were you?
7 months pregnant. Like even the last shots, I was 8 months pregnant. I was about to pop.
Okay.
But it was those shots were like a little bit later. Those were like April, May shots, but
Yeah.
the season was really like February, March.
Okay.
So I think like technically by the timeline of the docuseries, I wasn't as pregnant as I actually was in like the post-season interviews and stuff.
Yeah, because I remember like towards the postseason interviews, you were like about to pop.
Yeah, like about to pop. I
Okay.
think I gave birth like a month after my last interview. So yeah, like 8 months pregnant.
Well, I have never been pregnant, but all my girlfriends, when they're like 8 months pregnant, they're like, this is hell. And I feel like the last thing you want to do is be on the world stage on Netflix.
Well, and you know that they say like the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, when
Yes.
you're pregnant, you already have like 40 plus pounds. So it was quite an adjustment to see myself.
Oh, there I am,
like,
100
there it is,
pounds
100
plus.
Just tripled my weight overnight. Yeah, it was quite interesting to watch, but no, it was good.
How was it filming a Netflix show? Like by the way, guys, we are in a tack room. So if you hear pounding, it's because horses are kicking the wall. They might be whinnying in the background, so bear with us.
Literally on the other side of the camera, that wall is Blacklist stall. So like she's right there kicking her stall. So
Perfect.
Apologies in advance.
Yeah, I kind of like that. This is like authentic.
It is very authentic. Yes.
How was it filming the Netflix show?
It was cool. It was an experience. It was the producer, the showrunner. I don't know the technical terms of this. Maybe you do, but the person kind of behind it all his name was Miloš. He was wonderful to work with, to the point like we're buddies now. He's super talented. He was just kind of like thrown in this polo world, and he had a month to figure it out. So I was really impressed with his ability to kind of like navigate the world generally and navigate the personalities and try to like make something out of nothing. He wasn't really given a lot of time to film this series, so I was really impressed with how he was able to execute everything.
Is he like the point person between you and like the cameras? Like, what do you mean by that? I guess.
Right. So I don't know, and like anyone in production is going to be making fun of us right now because like these are things like we should know. But I mean, no, I don't know the technical term of what his role was, but he was like your
go-to guy,
the main guy,
your guy.
He's my
Miloš,
guy.
if you're listening, thank you. You are our guy.
Miloš, you were awesome. We loved you. He was phenomenal, super talented. He did like Welcome to Wrexham, and he's done a few other shows that have been a big hit. But,
yeah.
So my experience filming with them was fantastic because of him. He was just awesome to work with.
And I feel like you guys, so for those of you who haven't watched, Pam and her husband Louis are in it, and it's kind of just following their life, and him, I think, was he playing the gauntlet at the time?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they were following, I want to say 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
They were following La Fée, Dudecorp, La Delfina, and Coca-Cola. So they kind of like picked stories within those teams to follow. And then, of course, Louis, kind of like new guy on the scene, kind of like bad boy crazy man.
Yeah.
Was a big part of it. And then, of course, you have like Adolfo, best player that's ever lived, and his son Perotto competing. And then Keko Magrini, up and coming, really talented young player. He's like 18 years old. And Timmy Duda, who kind of comes from like a family who's very involved in the polo world. He has his own team, but he's also a professional. So it was kind of navigating the stories within the teams. But the overarching theme was following these teams through their journey to the U.S. Open final, which ended up being father versus son. So that was kind of like perfect.
Amazing. Yeah. You couldn't have planned that better.
No. They did it quite well.
How were you like, I mean, you had some vulnerable moments, like anytime anyone's following you through your life.
Of course.
How is that having cameras around? Were you like, oh my God, like there's a camera, or you're just like, oh, this is our life. Take it or leave it?
Both, right? Like, oh my God, there's a camera, but I'm kind of an open book no matter what.
Yeah, you are.
Like, I've always been an open book. It's always just kind of been my way of operating. My family's just that way. We're Greek. We're crazy.
This comes from your mom, I think.
I know. We're Greek. We're very like open, warm people. So I just don't feel like I've never been a very private person in that way. Right. So I don't know.
Like, here
we are. We're doing it. If we're going to commit and we're going to do it, we're going to do it honestly. And, you know, we'll be raw and vulnerable if it calls for that. And it was. And I think it was a good experience in navigating different situations. I think my husband was, you know, portrayed in the big bad mean.
I was wondering. I feel like, because I know him from your wedding. Like, he is the sweetest, kindest soul. Oh, there's the Ring doorbell. That's okay. But on the show, I think they really leaned into him being like the new bad boy on the scene.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I see what they're doing here.
Yes. Everybody has to. Oh, sorry. I'm like using this.
It's okay.
I talk with my hands. It's the Greek thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of had to take on a role, right? And so that's just kind of naturally the role that fits him. But I mean, he's a sweetheart. He is a big bad. He is a badass. He is a crazy man. He is like an extreme adrenaline addict. So all of that is completely true. I just think that that's a very small part of him.
Right.
But it is, in fact, a part of him. But yeah, it was, I don't think he cusses that much in real life. That's for sure.
The F-bomb?
I mean,
left and right.
The man speaks 4 languages fluently. Yeah. Like hardcore 4 languages, completely fluent. English is his 3rd language. Yeah. He's just incredible. And you would think when you have 4 languages to choose from, you could choose other words to express yourself. And I promise you, he does have quite an extensive vocabulary. There is more to him than just the F-bomb.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to say fuck, okay? Am I right? I support him.
I mean, look,
sometimes you just have nothing else to say. We were just talking before we started recording that because I think, as some of you know, I watch a lot of polo, I play polo, and we'll be listening to the live streams. And when Pam is playing, Louis will be on the sidelines screaming bloody murder.
Without question. Like, he is... No joke, he's my number 1 cheerleader.
Yeah.
He is so, and it's awesome to have him there because he just brings up the excitement and the intensity of the games.
Yeah.
But the cameras that actually film the games are at like the middle yard line, 50-yard line, if you will, but the middle of the field, and the field's 300 yards long. Yeah. So he's on the far end of the field on the corner, so over 150 yards away, and the cameras can still pick him up screaming at the tent, like, come on, let's
The earth is
go.
shaking a little bit.
Yes.
I love it.
It's great.
So did Prince Harry produced it, or was like an executive producer?
Right. So this was one of his projects with Netflix. So I'm under the understanding that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have a contract deal with Netflix where they have like 3 projects that Netflix signed them on for. The first one was Meghan and Me. The second one, do you want me to let her out?
That's
She's
okay.
So annoying.
Pam's boxer, Sage, is here, and she's like, I think we're going to let her out of the tack room, and then she's going to want to come back in.
I have a feeling that's probably
That's okay.
what's
She
happen.
can do her little thing. Sage, do you want to come here?
Sage, come.
Look at her little nub. I
Do you
love
wanna come here?
boxers. Look at your little nub
Do you want to
tail.
come up here?
She says, I don't know
Don't
what
tell
I
your
want.
dad. You're not allowed on furniture.
Back to that. Oh, yeah. So they're like the big umbrella.
Exactly. So they have a 3-series deal with Netflix, from my understanding. The first one was Meghan and Me. The second one was Polo. And the third one is Meghan's, I think it's called With Love, Meghan. They just released it. It's like a show on like cooking and gardening and all the things that kind of that she loves to share with her friends and family.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. I haven't seen it quite yet, but I intend to watch it.
And Louis played with Harry.
He has, yeah.
And what?
Against Harry.
Against Harry.
So twice, a handful of times against
He's
Harry.
a pretty good polo player.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good rider. He's a very good polo player. Obviously, he's not a professional. It's not his he doesn't have time for that.
Yeah.
But as an amateur and an enthusiast, he's incredibly talented.
Well, I feel like that family, you come out of the womb and like get straight onto a horse.
I think you should. It's like part of the culture.
Yeah. I mean, they're the OGs.
They are.
They are the OGs. Okay, so Pam got me into polo. When I tell people that I play polo, I feel like there is such a misconception that it's like this. They think of like Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman. It's like the stuck-up society. And I have come to find that that is not the case.
Not at all.
It's like the most laid back, well, for the most part. I mean, there's some ritzy-glitzy moments.
Yes.
But the people are so laid back. Like you show up, no makeup, in jeans, like very, very casual for the most part.
100%.
And it's such a great, tight-knit community.
It is. It is. It's a small community, but it's definitely a tight-knit community. And I do think there is a part of the sport that has like the big hats and high heels. And that's great because you want people who enjoy that to have that. But I would say that makes up like 2% of the sport. Those are like exhibition matches that happen once a year in big cities.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the other 98% of the sport is like people in t-shirts and no shoes at the polo field with young horses, training horses, working their butt off day in, day out. So
it's a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
And the other really cool thing to me is the biggest part, and I'm sure you'll agree, is the horses and taking care of the horses. And there's so much care that goes into taking care of these animals.
Yes.
And people don't see that, I don't think.
I know, and they need to.
I know.
And that's like a hard thing to show too, because I feel like in a lot of ways it's not sexy. So it's harder to show that in like mainstream media. But it really is the core and the foundation for the success of any team or any player. It's their horses. And beyond that or coupled with that is the people who take care of the horses.
Yes.
So the professional polo players typically aren't the ones day in, day out throwing hay and cleaning stalls. In some cases they are when they're like really working their way up. But you have to kind of have a good team in place. You need to have your groom who's there day in, day out taking care of the horses. You need to have your vet on staff. You need to have your piloto, which is like your horse trainer rider. You need to have your pros. You need to have your coach. There are so many people involved in the success of one player. It's amazing when you have that breakdown. But the foundation and the core and the most essential piece, without question, in my opinion, is your horses and the person taking care of them.
Without question.
Your groom. Yeah.
And just for the listeners out there, when you go to play a polo match, how many ponies does one player need typically?
It's a good question. Depends on the chuckers.
Let's say like really high goal, like the best players in the world. How many are they showing up with?
Let's go with U.S. Open because Argentine Open is 8 chuckers, so that's different. But U.S. Open, 6 chuckers. I would say you go to the field with 12 horses.
And a chucker, just so everyone knows, is kind of like an inning, I would say.
Yeah, a period.
A period, yeah.
There's 6 of them typically in the U.S. at the high level, 7.5 minutes each with a halftime, so 3 chuckers. Sage.
Do you want me to let you out, Sage?
You're going to go outside, but then you're not coming back in.
Do you hear that? Okay, she's
Don't
back.
suck up to her.
She's back.
Okay. So 6 chuckers, and I would say 10 to 12 horses. 12 is a lot.
Yeah.
6 is not enough.
No, not enough.
But anywhere kind of in that area.
And it's crazy, and I'm sure people are like, well, why do you need so many horses if there's only 6 chuckers? And really the reason being is because these horses are going all out.
They're going all out, yeah.
Flying, they're turning fast, they're just going full speed, and so they get tired after 3.5 minutes, and then you have to go jump on a new one.
Exactly. And then the other thing too is, say you play a horse for 3 minutes and the horse gets hurt. Well, now you're down a horse. So you need to have a backup plan. You need to have a replacement for that horse. And how about if you go into overtime? You know, you need to have a horse ready. And of course, you can bring back one of your horses that played in the main game for overtime. You don't have to have like an overtime horse designated, but you can't have those horses overworked. So you never want to push them like beyond what they're capable of, because you don't want to injure your horses at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's really a big play in like horse management.
A ton of strategy.
Huge in terms of like, you want your best. In a perfect world, you'd play your best horse, all 6 chuckers, but you have to like manage that horse and do what's best by that horse in terms of like not injuring them, get the most out of them without getting them too tired. Yeah. It's tough.
Have you had any from the show, like any backlash, like from PETA or anyone like that, that's like, that maybe don't understand how well these horses are taken care of?
Not me personally. I mean, my whole life I'm on Instagram and I have like a couple followers that are like animal rescue people because I've done like the animal rescue stuff in the past. But like I'll get messages from people that are ridiculous, being like, how dare you say you love horses and then you wear spurs? Like, oh my gosh, how dare you, but you carry a whip. Like, they don't understand the tools that you use in the equine world and how to properly use them. Like, trust me, I'm not abusing my horses.
I'm pretty sure your horses are like live on a silver platter. I want to come back as one of your horses in my next life.
Correct.
Yes.
So people don't understand that. But so there's just been a steady flow of that forever. I don't think the show added any of that to me personally.
That's good.
Or to my knowledge to the polo world. I don't know anyone who's been affected by that. I'm sure there are some people that are like, oh my gosh, you ride horses. That must hurt their back or something. But
it's usually coming from a place of them just not knowing.
Correct. Yes.
I feel like for all the listeners out there, and I have a lot of horse girls that listen.
Love it. Horse girls are the best.
Horse girls, we are a little crazy, but we are the best.
They are the best.
We are. Then like that, sometimes you need a spur, and that doesn't mean you're like jabbing a spur. Like it's just like a hey, kind of like when you walk your dog and you're like, hey, let's stay focused.
Exactly. It's more of like like the collars that have like the
prong
on them, and those are really controversial. So maybe cut that. I don't know. But you know what I mean?
No, I know
exactly. It's more of a pinpoint command.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more of a direct command.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Like, hey, pay attention, but it's not painful in any way.
Exactly.
And also, they're 1,500 pounds. So
that's right. And they're sensitive. They can feel a fly land on their skin, but it's a more pinpointed command for a highly trained animal.
Correct.
Like what's a better example? The border collies that do the sheep.
Yeah.
Sheeping?
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah.
The herding?
Yeah, herding. Yeah, I'm like, the sheeping.
The sheeping.
Totally.
They have a whistle, and all the whistles have like different tones that tell the dog like left, right, center, forward, back, whatever.
Exactly like that.
These tools that you use for the horses are a more higher calibrated form of communicating with the animal. So instead of just a kick, is it a little bit back behind the saddle? Is it a little bit forward? What is the pressure point like? It's just a higher calibration in terms of the communication with your animal.
Yeah, that's really good. Look at you.
I think that's
This
fair.
is why I brought you here today.
I'm an attorney. I have to.
No, I was going to say, that's a good argument.
I have to find these creative arguments.
I think if you're listening, Milosh, if you're listening, I feel like we need to do a show that focuses on the care of the horses and the grooms and like all of that, because people are so fascinated by the animals themselves.
So I agree, and I bet Milosh would agree too, but I think the first show about polo kind of had to be like a overarching, broad introduction into like, this is polo. And literally, it's just called polo for that reason. Mm-hmm. But what I think Milosh did beautifully is, and Harry and Nacho, is they kind of opened the door to polo. Mm-hmm. And now, as you would expect, there are a number of kind of spin-off shows, and people are very interested now.
Yeah, now we've got your attention. So everyone hang on. We're
going to be doing women. We're going to be doing horses. We're going to be doing horse care, all of that.
Oh my goodness. What was that Sage?
We're not doing dogs of polo
Would you like to say something? Here's the mic. Okay. Thank you for contributing. Okay, speaking of women in polo, you are a new mom.
I am. We should probably put her outside, though, because she's going to go nuts.
Do you want me to? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, we are back from our little intermission. We just let Sage out.
She was protesting.
She was protesting. Okay, so back to women in polo.
Yes.
You're a new mom.
I am.
How many months ago did you have Alina?
As of yesterday, 8 months ago.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
8 months ago.
8 months ago.
And how was it getting back in the saddle after, I guess, postpartum?
It was tough. I'm going to be honest. It was tough. It was necessary, I think, for me personally, because it like had me set a goal to get back in the saddle. So it was really something that I was like driven to do. I was very focused on doing it, but my body just doesn't respond well to it in a lot of ways. Like, I pulled my back, I dislocated a rib. Didn't even know you could do that.
Wow, that is apparently like the most painful.
Horrible. I was in Argentina. It was awful. More recently, I pulled my glute like 2 days ago. So it wasn't like that first day in the saddle was hard. It was more like as training progressed, my body was just kind of not keeping up as well as it normally would because I'd been out of commission for so long.
Well, and you lose, I feel like, a lot of your core muscles.
Yeah, well,
which is everything in riding.
Exactly. That's tough. So I had to train. I trained throughout my entire pregnancy to make sure that I wouldn't get like too far behind.
Yeah.
But even still, like the postpartum period, and the hardest thing for me above all else is not sleeping. I need my sleep, at least 6 hours. Yeah. Like that would be, if I could get 6 hours of consecutive sleep, it would be amazing.
Yeah. That's so funny you say that, because I see these moms, I have a lot of girlfriends that have babies, and they're sleeping like 4 hours a night. You're like, you just make it work. I'm like, if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I am not a nice lady.
Right. No, 8 hours I'm great. 6 hours I'm functioning, you know, but eight hours would be ideal. It's just that that's like right now too much to ask. But I think that's the hardest part, is not sleeping and then expecting yourself to function, because sleeping is when your body heals.
Yeah. And you're such a high achiever, I feel like, in general. So you're like, I just had this baby and now I'm just going to go back to riding. And I'm sure it's been like an adjustment for you to kind of like reframe your mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my postpartum self, like slapped myself in the face being like, wake up. That is not happening.
You're like, oh, wait a second.
Shoot.
And I guess like I haven't had a baby yet, but we're talking about it. Like we're probably not the youngest moms in the world.
No.
You know, we've waited a little while
now.
to have babies. And so that's probably one of the downsides.
I know, but I will say my mom didn't start until she was 36.
And are you one of 5?
One of 6.
Oh my gosh.
And just to like, she's nuts. 6 kids in 7 years.
That's insane.
By the way, my dad wanted 0, which is like the best part, but
that's amazing.
Here we are.
Your mom is amazing. Connie, you probably don't remember me, but I will never forget you. You are the funniest person alive. I think she needs her own reality TV show.
And then, now that's something I should bring up to Milosh. I think so too. I think she was like the number one
She was on the or docuseries. Yeah. You played in the Open, the US Open this year.
Yes.
Were you dealing with any injuries then?
Oh yeah. That's when I dislocated my rib. I did some sort of something with my cartilage on my left side. It was really painful. It was an uphill battle for sure. And also like my riding just wasn't there. I was watching the videos of us playing and I looked terrible.
I do not agree with that. I do think though, as a total outsider looking in, like you could see as the tournament went on, you got so much more comfortable and you were crushing it at the end.
At the end, yeah. At the end I got more confident, but I was just slow. That's natural. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
I need to get back to it, but I definitely felt like I was not as quick to the ball. I didn't have the same strength. And not to say that I won't get there. I just think the tournament started 6 months postpartum. So
yes,
and you're to be expected.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that you're even out there is amazing. So
thank you. Yeah, that was tough, but it was important.
Yeah, but you did it. And I think you're inspired a lot of women. That's so amazing. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. And that was the thing is that I wanted people to know too that you can be a mom and still do the things you love, because there were so many people, and especially my mom, because my mom had 6 and 7 years, so a little different, but she was kind of like, well, once you're a mom, don't, you shouldn't be worried about polo. You shouldn't. And I'm not worried about anything. And obviously being a mom is my first priority, but I wanted to show her that I can incorporate my baby into this lifestyle and have her be a part of it instead of I don't know, staying at home all day because I have to adhere to her nap schedule. I do adhere to her nap schedule, but maybe I set up a crib in the tack room and she sleeps in the tack room with me while I get on my computer and get some work done. Or maybe she takes the bottle in the car at the field side and she takes a nap in the car. So we've kind of figured out this hybrid way. She's just my little sidekick. She comes everywhere with me, and it was a fun experience being able to do that with her.
And probably she'll be all the better for it, make her adaptable and go with the flow.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're yeah.
She's a typical baby.
She was colicky, wasn't she?
She was.
Just like horses.
Yeah, I know. But by the way, this whole make the baby come with you thing, that the first 3 months I was on lockdown at my house.
Okay.
She was colicky. It was eat, sleep, or cry. There was no intermission of any sort. So this conversation did not apply for months 1 through 4 probably.
Were you pulling your hair out during that, or were you
I was a zombie. I don't remember. I think it all just I think it's
you blacked out.
I think I blacked out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I blacked out for 4 months.
It's kind of crazy how your mind does that.
Yeah, that was traumatic. And now it's funny because I want another one, and it's I totally forgot that experience ever happened.
Yep. I think that's I think childbirth and all of that, we're built to forget, so we do it again.
Honestly, yes.
Okay. Here we go.